Cam Currie is not a name that many retail investors might know, but for the last few decades, he's built one of the most successful mining investment companies. Currie Metals and Mining operated out of the Canaccord offices. And Cam and I met a few months ago, and I was trying to convince him to come on my podcast because I knew how much value there was to be unlocked in his brain. He wasn't doing a lot of media. He was busy doing deals and being an investor behind the scenes and financing a lot of the best companies in this sector. So I really wanted to get him in front of my audience. And after a handful of conversations, he came on, and we've had a few great episodes since then, covering themes like de-dollarization, geopolitics, and the gold market. Today, what I want to focus on is capital allocation. And so joining us on stage are the CEOs of 3 companies that Cam has invested in. And as I said before, they join me on stage. And if you were at my workshop yesterday, rule number 5, follow the smartest money. After some conversations with these companies, having them on my podcast and doing my own diligence, I'm now a shareholder as well. Again, I never tell anybody what to buy, but I'm very happy to explain why I did. So first of all, thank you so much for joining me up here today.
Thank you, Jay.
And I want to start with you, Cam. I want to pass the mic to you and I'd like to hear you break down how you see. So up on stage right now, we have 2 gold companies and 1 silver company, and we're going to get into that in a minute. So to kick us off, it makes sense, Cam, if you could lay out your precious metals outlook for us and how you read the market right now.
You're looking at like a 3 to 5 year horizon, or just the?
Yeah, let's take it there.
First of all, to get a little bit of my history, I've been 35 years in the investment business, but really became a specialist in the metals and mining space back in 2001 or 2000 when I saw the dot-com bubble. And at that time, there was a super valuation. Nortel represented 35% of the TSX, and the gold industry was left and abandoned. And so at that time, I rolled up my sleeves and said, there's such a compelling opportunity in the space. Gold was at $265 an ounce, and nobody was paying attention. And fast forward 7 years later, we were involved with 8 takeovers. We sold to seniors and mid-tiers. And so really the key was cultivating a relationship with a lot of clients, corporate clients. All 3 of these gentlemen are corporate clients of mine, and getting into the intel of the industry. And that's one of the things that's absolutely important. So fast forward to today, the investment environment today reminds me of 2002 when no one was paying attention. You know, as an industry person, and I've heard this from a lot of people that I do business with that are high-profile individuals, we have gold at $2,000 an ounce and a complete disconnect from the equities. And it's been very, very, very frustrating because you look at these companies, these 3 companies in particular, that have made significant progress in their assets, and yet their shares have depreciated. Fortunately enough, I've lived through those cycles before, and it's a strategy of just staying with great assets, great management teams. So going back to the forecast for gold, I think we're going into a very strong gold market as US dollar de-dollarizes. We've seen that partly. Most people don't know this, but in China, for example, the second best performing asset for investors in China in 2023 was gold. So the Eastern world sees the value of gold. The Western world continues to sell off all the gold ETFs, and they aren't paying attention to this de-dollarization move. So I think we're in for a very, very exciting next couple of years. And a lot of the companies in this room who are finding it very difficult to find investors, they're going to get some attention. But you do have to stay with, in my view, the tier companies that are expanding, growing, and exploring.
Real quick break here, guys. If you are a mining investor, you are without question familiar with the Golden Triangle region in British Columbia. This is one of the most prolific mining regions in the world due to its vast deposits of gold, silver, and copper. Now, for the last 4 years, Dolly Varden Silver has been busy expanding their high-grade silver deposit in the Triangle, and they are backed by some of the smartest investors in the silver business, including the legendary Eric Sprott, Hecla Mining, US Global Investors, Fidelity, Delbrook Capital, Sprott Resource Corp, and more. If you are curious why the smartest money in the silver business is cozying up to Dolly Varden Silver, then hit the link beneath this video. So I'd love you to walk me through your decision-making process, Cam. You look at a lot of deals. So how do you get to the no? How do you get things off your desk so you can get to the good stuff?
First of all, I have an incredible team at Canaccord. So when I look at my Currie Metals and Mining group, I have my bankers, my analysts. We have a global team of 55 people. We meet at our conference every year. So I get a lot of intel from people like that. On top of that, I do business with a lot of principals. And so repeat people. Like Patty, for example, he's been involved with a number of companies that have been taken over. And if you can put up with his humor, he's a great person to do business with. But again, going back to, it's not about weeding them out, it's about staying with pedigree. Great management teams, great assets. In the case of Mike and Vizsla Silver, the discovery was made. I didn't get involved till 6 months later, when I actually realized it wasn't just a one-shot wonder. And since then, the growth of this asset, I'll leave that to Mike, has been absolutely spectacular. So it's not about flushing them aside, because there's over 2,000 mining companies listed on the TSX. It's sifting through the top ones and then going through the process of where they are in the cycle as well.